Hi, Max Brantley with the Arkansas Times on Tuesday, August the 15th. The lead news today in Arkansas is the second day of the trial of Judge Wade Naramore of Hot Springs, who faces a misdemeanor negligent homicide charge in the death of his 18-month-old son Thomas last year. He was left in a car while Naramore went to work in the morning. He discovered that he'd forgotten his son too late to save him at about midday. Nearly everybody in the courtroom today cried, the judge, jury, and everyone else, when they played the tape of a police recording the officers who responded to the scene and found Naramore in tears, distraught over what had happened to his son. The facts in this case are pretty clear. The jury has a fairly narrow instruction on what type of negligence can be found to constitute a misdemeanor violation of the act which he's charged with, but I think they're going to weigh heavily the defense's claim that he was a good father who made a terrible mistake that has happened to other people and shouldn't be punished for it. The trial continues today. The testimony is underway. It shouldn't take all week to complete this. More news in the constitutional amendment front. The nursing home lobby in Arkansas has reached nearly $1 million in money it's raised to pass a constitutional amendment that will set extremely low limits on damages that you can collect against nursing homes and other medical providers for neglect and abuse. The lawyers have worked to back a group that's going to fight that amendment when it reaches the ballot in November. More bad news about Arkansas's handling of kids. New data in an article on our Arkansas blog by a reporter who's done a lot of work on juvenile justice reform that shows Arkansas is far worse than the rest of the country, far worse than every state in the South in confining juveniles. That is, locking them up rather than providing community-based treatment. Our numbers have risen while numbers everywhere else in the country have fallen, apart from the simple humanity of locking up children and what that means. It's a money issue. If we didn't lock up so many kids, we could save a lot of money. Other states have chosen that path. News from the Arkansas Repertory Theater. It has a new artistic director to succeed the departed Bob Hupp. He's John Miller Stefani. He comes from being a leading director at the Guthrie Theater in Minneapolis, one of the country's great theater organizations. So that's good news for the Arkansas Rep. Interesting reading on the Arkansas blog today, some back and forth between Chuck Welch, the president of the ASU system, and some professors at ASU who aren't happy about the recently departed Chancellor Tim Hudson, about the trouble he got in, and about some questions that still linger about some activities that Hudson was involved in, including a new campus in Mexico. Welch has responded in great detail. The faculty is fired back. There's some question about governance. Does faculty have a role in governing an institution, or do they simply take what the people up top tell them to do? It's interesting reading if you're interested in academic politics. Sometimes they say academic politics are so big because the stakes are so small. These stakes are pretty big, I think. It's interesting stuff. Gun news in Arkansas. A stolen 9mm handgun was found in the car of a student at Jesseville High School today, or yesterday actually. 2 students were arrested. A Rogers police officer went to work this morning and found that his unmarked police cruiser had been burgled by car thieves of some sort. They took an AR-15 rifle, rounds of ammunition, ammo for a pistol, armored vest, and other tools of his trade. Not a good day for the Rogers Police Department. Not a good day either for our personal star in the Olympics, Lexi Weeks. She was an Arkansas Times Academic All-Star last year from Cabot. As a freshman at the University of Arkansas this year, she did a great job in pole vaulting, made the Olympic team. She didn't qualify for the finals today, I'm sorry to say, but 2 Razorbacks will be in the finals. There'll be a lot more vaulting ahead for Lexi Weeks, who's a great competitor. And finally, we had an interesting story in the Arkansas blog today about how Republican State Representative Rebecca Petty apparently picked up a photograph off Democratic candidate and opponent Grimsley Graham's website to make it appear that she was at a bike race in downtown Rogers a week or so ago where Grimsley Graham was campaigning for office. You know, in Northwest Arkansas, you don't have to be anything but a Republican, which Rebecca Petty is. She doesn't have a good record. She doesn't participate in debates. She doesn't go to public events. She apparently lifts photos from others to make it appear she goes to public events. Voters up there seem to like that representation. It's too bad. It's a funny story in a way, but a commentary on the division of Arkansas politics. Grimsley Graham is a war veteran, a veteran teacher, immensely well informed, has a lot of good things to say about education, but apparently he's not good enough to beat somebody who has to take her opponent's Facebook photo as a way to pretend she's campaigning. That's the story in Arkansas today. I'm Max Brantley. I'll be back tomorrow.